about, oh, I actually respect artists more when they're doing art traditionally, when they're just drawing it line by line. But another opinion be like, since we have the technology, why don't we use it? So this is a very interesting topic that I would like to address this week. Let me see if I can record. Is the space recorded? Can you see it?
You said you shared it where?
No, I mean like, is the space recorded? Because I was trying to.
Oh, oh, right now it's not being recorded, but it is being live streamed in the Seventh Tribute, and so we're recording it, and so it is going to be on YouTube, but it's not going to be on Twitter. Well,
Hmm.
actually, it is on Twitter right now because we're also streaming the video, so it'll be recorded there, but not like the way Twitter normally does
Okay,
it.
cool. I was trying to see if I could, you know, change the settings to make it record. I don't know why. Like, I heard someone told me you can make it record even after you start it without have it recorded, but I kind of couldn't find it.
Yeah, you have to go and like request it through like Twitter help.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess as long as you have it recorded, then we're fine. Good to go.
Yeah. It's on YouTube, and I just pinned it at the top so you can see us right now on the big screens.
Let me take a look. Wow. Ooh, I like it. Thank you for doing all this work, Mo. You're the best.
You know it. I'm like, man, we be having some good conversations. I'm like, we really got to start spreading it out here, you know? And I'm like, even if it's a few on Twitter, a few on YouTube, a few on Kick, a few on Facebook. And then, like we just said, it's recorded, you know, something that we have. Anybody can watch right now. If you retweet it, people can actually see us in the metaverse. Also, you know, on social media, having these conversations and getting it out there because especially with our topics with AI, you know, it's happening and it's not something that's going to be changing anytime soon. And you know, we have to be a part of how we can all work together with it. So I'm excited, especially about conversations like this, where it really comes down to like how the masses is responding to things and what we all think about it, and then creating spaces like this for us to actually share that and see what people think about it. So
Yeah, I totally agree. And I see we have Ning and
Shiva
Shivalila.
Lila.
Welcome to join our space. Nice to see you guys. And feel free. Okay, let me approve the request. Yeah, feel free to jump on board and join the discussion with us. I see that Shivalila has a dance, your fitness trainer, digital dance move, NFT. Oh, that's so cool. What is digital dance? How do you, oh, like emotes? I'm just guessing.
Kind of what she does is if you were at the Raw Gala,
Mm-hmm.
and she did the belly dance, and so that's an
Ooh.
NFT. And so basically it's uh like a transparent video of her, so you can take that video of her dancing and put it on like any background that you want. And so yeah,
Ooh.
that's how she does it. And then she does belly dance classes in the metaverse every month.
Ooh, that's
And so
nice. How do you? Ooh, that's nice.
yeah, so definitely follow because I be in there and I've been learning my
Yeah, just
moves, and she got
follow
some good
her.
stuff coming out this month. And it is really cool when you say emotes. We've been really cool with the high creators, and they've been hosting some really cool workshops with us. And last month we learned how to customize our avatar. That is true.
God, this happens so often. Let me just can you pin the YouTube the
Yeah,
live
yeah.
again?
Let me pin it again.
I'm just gonna share this. Twitter.
Oh yeah, let me drop it in the chat again.
Nice, nice. And let me invite Ning. And can you invite Sheila?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me drop the new link. I like how we're all multitasking at the same time, trying
I
to tell
know, right?
everyone the link.
Usually I'm always trying to like keep talking and not make it dead space. I'm like, no, I gotta post all for a second. Because
Yeah,
then
yeah,
when you said send in the DM, I'm like, oh yeah. And then I seen a bunch of people to DM, and I'm like, oh yeah, let me send it to a bunch of people real quick, because that's always a way to give it a whirl.
yes. I'm also inviting people via DM. Just a lot of people. I feel like can shall we like get another how do you say, shall we get another Twitter space which is like at another time?
I
Because
know, maybe that's it. Because
we
look
have
what
a lot
hasn't
of
grown yet.
European followers, and like people be saying, "Hey, I wanted to join. I'll listen to the record, but I couldn't join at this time because it's 1 a.m. for me. It's 12 a.m. for me."
So what would be a better time in the day?
I don't know, probably 1 in the morning or something like that.
1 in the morning. What time? Pacific time?
Yeah.
I think that
What
would
do you
be.
think?
I would think that would be a bit extreme.
Oh, okay. What time will be okay?
I think most people look at that and be like, "I would never make that."
Or really, you can do it 1 a.m. It was
No, one
really
a.m.
hard.
is like crazy.
Uh,
Hmm.
I don't feel so good
I don't know.
today.
What about 1 p.m.? If 1 a.m. is a good time, is 12 hours later like the p.m. time of that cool? 1 p.m. would be cool Pacific time if it's cool a.m. for all the other time zones.
1 p.m. should work. Don't
We can
know.
try it.
Yeah,
It'd be like, midday. Maybe people like kind of doing Twitter spaces midday instead of kind of keeping things going at the end of the
yeah,
day.
yeah. We can definitely try it though. Like it's cool.
Do you guys think my
We can
voice is like weird or something?
just very deep.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like something is in my throat. I don't know whether I get COVID again.
Oh.
Hmm.
Oh no! From where? Hawaii? Are you in Hawaii or Thailand?
Thailand. No, I don't think it's from Thailand. I come back for like I already come back for like 6 days, and just all of a sudden, like yesterday, I just feel a little, you know, uncomfortable, and right now my voice is like this. I don't know why.
Oh, I see we got Tiny and Shiva in the house. Whoop, whoop. And shout out to anybody watching on the stream as well. Because if you guys see at the top, we are streaming this in the metaverse as well. And also across Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, and also on Kick. So we gonna
What is Kick?
Kick is a new streaming platform. Apparently, a lot of people go in there and watch like gambling. I don't know if that was just a story put out from all these Twitter. All these platforms been like picking up different networks and entertainers and stuff. So we just try to stream our content on all of the different platforms basically and see which one kind of works.
Yeah. Yeah, just throw the spaghetti on the
You
walls and see
know,
which one sticks,
exactly.
basically.
Somebody's gonna see us and be like, "Hey, let's help push them. They've got something good going." So, you know.
Yeah, true.
And so, on that note, let's dive into AI versus traditional art. And who better than to ask than Chi Chi, right? I always like,
Exactly, but Chi is so political.
oh
I
yeah,
feel like I asked it a lot of questions, being like, it can be this way, it can also be that way. Like in the middle of the last week, I actually asked Chi a question. I said, why men over 30 years old suddenly start running marathon? Because that was like a question in my head for longest time, and then Chi be like, not all men over 30 start running marathon, but here are some reasons.
she was like, "I'm not
I,
fooling with you."
I'm not jumping the trap. But yeah, like that's like so common. I don't know. Like it's a next level mind game probably for them. It's not yet for us yet. By the way, like speaking of art, do you know about Milady NFT?
I have heard about it.
Yeah, my friend asked me to buy like last year when it was point 0.2 ETH, but when ETH was like 3,000 or 4,000. So I didn't buy it, but I was kind of like thinking, you know, why do people buy Milady? Because it's it's just like a Y2K style, you know.
Mhm.
And then like today Elon Musk tweeted about the lady, and then like people go crazy after that. And I was in the Twitter space about my lady ruined NFTs for like the whole morning. And I would just be like, hey, all those people going crazy after NFT. And you know what's so funny? Like they'd be like, oh, I love the art, I love the style. But then one woman like jump on the space saying, you guys are only looking at the back. Like
Literally.
you don't look at aesthetics, but like we need to look more of the art itself. We need to look more about like how do you like this project, not only just oh you're looking at the money. I just want to trade.
Hmm. I definitely agree, and I think that's a good point to even start bringing up when we talk about like AI versus like human created art, because like you said, like do people really appreciate the art when they really look at it, or like how much does that value come into play? And I think with NFTs, we've seen that shift, right? Where like you said, you can be looking at an art and really fool yourself into thinking like it's something super exquisite because there's a bag behind it. But like if there was no crypto like bag behind it that said it was worth that much, you probably wouldn't look at that and think, oh yeah, that's worth 100,000 just from looking at a picture of one of those miladies. And so I definitely agree with you on that, and especially when it comes to value and how stuff like that has like even changed how people look at pictures and value them, especially digital pictures, because I think like physical artwork, people have appreciated, and that's why it has been valued at so much. It's a craft and people put all this time and energy in a craft, and it's cool to have that craft, and not everyone does. Where AI, it's more like accessible. But I will also say on that, when I think about AI and traditional art, prompting is a little bit tricky, and I think when people really tap into like a style, like there's this one artist that I follow, Claire Silver. And I'm really excited because she's part of this. She's doing a collaboration with the NFT that I hold called Restless that I be wearing around the metaverse. But she has really tapped into her AI style, where it's like one of her art pieces are literally worth like 100,000, and like a lot of money, because it's so unique the way she's able to like generate a specific picture. And so I think it's going to be really interesting as we see those values like shift.
$100,000
Yeah,
AI generated photo.
literally.
Well, can you share what the
Let me
photo
see.
is on the top? That is crazy. That is like,
Because it's
whoa.
like she's looked at like a real like artist, you know?
Like, what's special about it?
Let me see if I can.
Is she already an established artist before?
I'm not sure. She says, let me see. She says she was into AI art since 2018. So maybe she was just like an OG artist, maybe. Let me see if I can find a good link over here. And so while I get that up, did you want to share your thought about AI versus traditional art? And then I'll drop it and then reshare it.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, so I have seen this post. No offense to anyone, but like it's an artist friend, and they posted like I really admire it when artists are actually doing their art in a traditional way, where they draw it with a pen and paper. I actually admire that, but like that's one opinion that I can tell a lot of artists who come from like a traditional art background, they draw everything themselves. They will have that thought because that takes time. That takes a long time to paint something, whereas the AI just take prompts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have like a strong opinion about like okay this is worth more because more time will put in, but it's kind of feel like like it's kind of feel like Hermes, the bag Hermes. They create every single bag manually. They have people like staying there overnight just to create this magnificent piece, and they're selling for very very expensive. Whereas like other bags that are manufactured are kind of cheaper, and they're valuing that as part of like the masterpiece. You have to take a long time to craft your skills to be able to do the manual piece. So I wonder if there's a possibility in the future if everything is manually crafted, it's possibly gonna worth more. But it's also like Hermes is like coming up as a brand. It's not like a single product. You know what I'm saying? Like if there's different different person instead of a brand to do this is manually crafted, I don't know if it can be worth the same way as what Hermes is worth right now.
Yeah, I think it depends on how you use it with that, right? Because I think it's going to get really intricate when it comes down to like how AI will even be able to like okay, now you've created this picture from AI, now you can create like a 3D model from that AI, right? So maybe now you can actually start creating that digital fashion. And then making it where you can use like a 3D printer to download it. And of course, these are things that's like super far down the line. But like you said, I don't think it's going to be like big brands a lot. I think it's we're going to see a lot more like people just being able to make their own clothes and like smaller brands and some and support their smaller businesses and things that they appreciate. And I think things like AI art, like you said, will even help in that shift where it's just more of like that, everybody can have one and you just support the one that you do, and it can't one or the other can't be super high value because everybody can do it at the end of the day.
That's the thing, like when everybody can do something, it's not a cool
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Definitely.
But it's also like more accessible. I just don't know. I really wanted to hear like from the real artist's opinion. A lot of people be like, "Oh, this artist is not that legit because he's using the existing models that they can buy online, on those online market shops. So they bought those other people created those models and they just paint on top of those models, and people be already saying hey that's not good because those are not handcrafted and cannot show their skills. But also the same thing is like, oh, those people are able to create really good visuals.
Yeah, because you know what? I learned that most of these people, you would think that from the outside, but from the inside, most people do use like 3D models because these platforms they all come with 3D models. Like especially when you use like Clo 3D and like a lot of like the fashion softwares, if you don't make your own patterns, you buy them or you buy assets, right? Like in the digital world, it's all about digital assets, and it's either you make them, you buy them, or they're open source. But at the end of the day, most builders, especially even in like Blender or even now and like Unity, everybody is so excited about Unity, but most people in Unity are using the same code, the same models, the same template as each other. Nobody is really building something from scratch. And so I think once people actually get into the space, you realize that most builders are, maybe they build the outside of the building to fit their exact vision, but they're bringing in, you know, prior chairs and prior this. They're not going to sit there and model every single detail unless it really requires that. And then of course that starts to require more skill at that point that you may have to learn. But I think to get started, it doesn't require that, and more people are learning that as well. And also learning that other people are, you can go into a space and see that somebody forgot to delete the forgotten person and know like, oh, they got a 3D, they found a model on the site too because they forgot to delete something, and things like that. And you just, like I said, start realizing a lot of people use and reuse assets around the internet.
That's funny. Forgot to delete it.
Mm-hmm.
Just get it there. I just take a look at the one you just sent to me. You commented the Psyche at the Shore.
Yeah. So
How is that special?
so you see that one is like 20 ETH. I couldn't find the one that I seen that was like 100,000, but yeah,
Well, I mean,
that one is like 20 ETH. She's got a couple others listed for like 15 ETH, and yeah, and she has like a really large community that just is like all in support. And
20 equals a lot for AI created picture.
yeah, but that's what I was saying. When you, as an artist, get like a following, like that's where it comes in, right? This whole shift with the NFT community is for ways for small businesses to be successful. Like I said, for being able to say, "Hey, I like your style. I like what you have going on, and I'm going to support you." And that's how her community has helped her become like a high value AI artist. And I think it's because they realized that's what was best for all of them, because now all of their NFTs are also high value.
Wow, that's such a beautiful thing, like just community supporting each other and
Hmm.
stuff. That's just so beautiful.
Yeah. And I think that's what AI will be able to do. Like we said, being able to now help. We know Unity's about to start dropping AI. Just got an email like, "Ooh, you want AI in Unity?" I'm like, I do. Wait till I can put in here, build this, that, and the third. It's over when I can just put my thoughts into 3D Maker and they make it, and then it's gonna be next level. And I think we're gonna keep seeing that, and keep seeing more skills be powered by AI and empower a lot more people that are, looking for ways to do that.
Just basically release all this manual work and
Yeah,
only accomplish the mind work. So the
exactly.
only use the mind to work. I mean,
And
like we have. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just gonna say, the best example for that is I had just used it because right now I'm in this workshop with the Harlem Film House where we're doing our metaverse series, and so we have to like write a script and we're doing casting and everything like that. And for my script, I'm like, okay, I always use Chat GPT, so I'm like, let me see, because we have to write like a real professional like script. So I'm like, okay, Chat GPT, help me write a professional script about my like little synopsis of a story. Now we know Chat GPT is not a good writer, so I definitely had to delete like all of the story. But what it did help me do is create the format, like even how it's supposed to be titled with the scenery, and then like the sections, and kind of being able to like even like flow from like beginning, middle to end. And also setting like, oh, I want it to be 20 minutes, and it even giving me like literally as many scenes as I was thinking was as many sections as it had like provided. And I was able to just like fill in my names, fill in my stories, and just like put in my creativity without having to like sit over here and start the whole like skeleton from scratch, which I was stuck on. Like, how do I even format this to get started?
That is a very good point. I find it really struggling to set up like the default things in
Mm-hmm.
Unity. Like once they gave me like a template was like the easiest thing. I could, oh, I need this to replace this one, I need that to replace that one, and be able to like create something relatively faster. I'm still not like super AI driven. I'm trying to be more. Um yeah, but like I find it very intriguing when people are able to. I find, like, to be honest, I think as a tool it's perfect, but like as a value, there's like a big difference in terms of value. Like we're talking about AI art and traditional art. Like traditional art, like a lot of oil painting, you just wanted to see the oil texture. Like a lot of paintings that you're not even able to make it as a digital art at all. How are you gonna make it a digital art? You're just gonna burn it, take a photo and burn it. It's kind of like lost the real meaning of it. I mean, like either way, if you're a collector, you wanted to buy some art pieces, you still have to buy it from the gallery. You still wanted to hang it in your home, right? Like even though like I know some artists that are buying some art pieces, digital art pieces, they still offer like print version. So you still want something like you can touch, you can feel inside of your home.
No, exactly. And you know what? I actually asked Chi Chi which like was the difference between AI and traditional art, and that was actually one of the things that they mentioned. It says AI generated is often seen as more objective as it's based on the data and algorithms rather than subjective interpretation of a human artist. So, additionally, AI generated art can be created as a much faster rate than traditional art, as the machine can generate more variations quickly. However, some argue that AI generated art lacks the emotional depth and expression of traditional art, which is created by a human with more unique experience and perspective. And I think, again, when you say like that's the thing that collectors are looking for, like that interpretation and that depth and that art, like that again gives it that like underlying value that is invaluable in a sense. That is what's lacking in AI art, and I do feel that as well, where it's like I put in prompts and I kind of start getting generic things back, and I'm like, this isn't giving exactly what I'm looking for. Like I'm looking like at this thing that you're showing, but trying to get like a little bit deeper than that. And I think that's what we always kind of battle with our creativity, like, okay, let's hear, but how do we go deeper? And AI definitely has that struggle as well.
I totally agree. I think AI has that struggle is a little bit funny for me. Yeah, it's kind of like what Anne said last week. AI is like an intern, right? Like it has to slowly grow into a full time. And when it grows into a full time, it's kind of replacing a lot of things that at the lower tier. And when it's like lower tier, I mean like the repetitive work. And also, I find it not only like objective or subjective, it's more of like skill training for someone to be able to achieve what's in their mind. Because for example, for me, like I have never get trained to be an artist, to be a painter. So like if I have like a fantastic amazing picture in my mind, what I can draw is like not even 1% of it.
Hmm.
because I don't know how to use the paint, the color. But the other thing is like all those does that's gonna make all the effort that we put in to learn the skills less valuable if the AI is able to kind of replace that process.
I think it will help you if you know how to do it, because at least you know how to, and I think you would have the upper hand compared to someone who doesn't and is trying to use AI and is totally dependent on AI. I think and that's going to also be like where you see some people that have like an advantage because they can use it to be better. And then also when you know it and then you just use it to get even better, right? Or you cannot use it at all and still be self sufficient on your own. And I think if you have that knowledge, you're able to use AI in more ways as well, because you have an understanding of how you can even use the software. And so, like right now, if you were to go and put in, like, ask Chat GPT how to make a 3D object in Blender, it would give you a code, right? And then you'd have to ask it to walk you through the steps to enter the code. Or, like, if you're using Unity, you'll have to do visual scripting. And, if you don't have that background knowledge on what you're looking at when you're looking at that software, you're just gonna, I think, become more dependable on the AI. So I think those that, again, know it for themselves will still have an advantage than those that
Well,
just.
but like for the visual scripting, that's confusing. That's actually very confusing. But for the visual scripting part on the Unity, like once Unity has their own AI, you can be say, hey, I want this water to have the effect of flowing when someone stand on when someone drop in. I want the water to be have the sprinkle sprinkle effect. Then the Unity AI will be able to, hey, let's do this visual scripting automatically on the back end. Like that's another procedure that you can be replaced easily as well.
That's so true.
So like gradually, if it keep progressing, then it's kind of like we are operating with a black box that we don't actually know how the black box is functioning inside itself, but we know there's only two buttons. One is execute, one is stop. And that black box itself is wrapped around by AI. And all the technology has already wrapped inside of it, which makes it very dangerous. Then like kind of like we it's kind of like how we use electricity. We only have one button, which is like open, turn on and turn off, and that's how we control the light. But like how exactly the light is getting generated, how the electricity got like flowing through the lights are in the black box. Maybe it will become a norm. Maybe I'm just paranoid now because like I feel like as an engineer I need to know exactly how everything's working, how everything's connected together, so I'm confident of my result. I'm confident of what I'm creating. If I don't know what is going on in the process to create something I want, then I'd be like, oh, I don't know if there's something wrong. I have no control over it.
No, I definitely agree. And that's weird to not have like control though. And I think that, like you said, it will be able to help with a lot of tedious things like visual scripting, especially when like you said, that being something that AI can do so easy, but is like so daunting for the regular person. I think it makes everyone like really excited. Like, hey, I do have a chance to kind of get into there. And so, yeah, I think when it comes to AI versus traditional artists, kind of just to head back to that topic, is that I think it would be more of a collaboration, just like, back in the day, artists were like using stone and like chisels and like making art in a different form. And then, they started using paint, then photography. I'm sure, when people started doing photography, people were already thinking like, hey, that's not real art. Like, I'm drawing the picture.
Yeah, it's like they're cheating, right?
Yeah, I feel everybody probably thought they were cheating, right? Like when the painters came out, the chiselers were probably like, I had to do this with rock and a hammer. Like, you got some paint, you got some dirt and some mud. It's not the same. and
But it
everybody.
doesn't mean like those oil painting has died, right? Those oil painting keep
Exactly.
existing, and a lot of people are learning it because people are enjoying the process of creating something. Doesn't mean like
Exactly.
people hate the labor and do something to cheat. Like
It becomes more
photographer,
valuable.
yeah, and photography becomes something else, like another categorized where people are able to find different lighting, different angles. And then like the photoshops came in, and that's another cheating of photography.
Hmm.
And then we have those Photoshop artists where like they can create it, like they use tools in different ways to. Well, that makes me feel like, oh, this is an evolution instead of this is a comparison between the traditional one and the AI art.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I think, like you said, AI artists probably feel the same, where I think they also don't want to put one another against the other. I don't think anybody wants to say one is better than the other. Whereas it's just like, you do AI art or you do traditional art, and there's just a mutual respect for how people choose to do that art at that point, right? Like you said, it's just another way to do it. And
Well,
so,
I feel
however,
like we're all saying this politely, but
right?
deeply down, I'm 100% sure a lot of artists be like, "No, you ain't shit. You're doing it with prompts. I'm doing it with real skills. Like those are, you ain't nothing." I'm pretty sure a lot of artists be like that. We don't want to talk because we don't have a lot of listeners, so we don't like we don't need to worry too much. But I feel like we gotta be real, right? Like a lot of artists be thinking that way and they be acting that way, and people just like,
Well, I don't know
yeah,
because I mean, think about it. Like Sixella is like one of our regular people who come in here, and when I see her, like if you follow her, she posts her like prompts a lot, and I just think like, damn, like I wish I could get AI to come out that looks like that, like so like prompt driven and like when she was like doing her makeup palettes and stuff like that, and
yeah.
then she
I
did
see
like a
her
whole
new
collection.
prompt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I was like, damn, like that's what I mean. Like when you really figure out that like AI algorithm, how to get the bot to kind of really produce what you're looking for to create those like different pictures that like you wouldn't even think of because AI also has like a little mystery to it too, where it kind of pops out with a
true.
random thing that you would have been
Because
like,
that's a black
whoa,
box that we don't know how it's actually working. So it's
yeah,
like it's like you're creating a TikTok account. You don't know how TikTok algorithm is working. So you're basically throwing spaghetti on the walls until something stick.
literally. And so I think that's what it is at that point. And I know for myself when I do tie dyes, that's how I feel because I just kind of put the clothes in a pattern that I like it. I try to prepare the fabric as much as I can. I squirt the colors as best as I can, but then I have to sit there for 24 hours and wash it out and see what it looks like, and hope that it comes out the way that I thought. So for me as a physical artist, I always like when I'm trying to get patterns from AI, I'm like, that's where I feel you on that. Like, man, AI patterns don't be nothing. My patterns be way better than theirs. Like, it don't got nothing on me. Like, physical artists is still gonna be around, especially if you need, these kind of patterns that I'm creating, because AI ain't there yet. um but again, when I'm creating like flyers and content or random like airdropped NFTs or pictures for spaces, I'm using AI art, like, hey, give me some pictures of some women doing this, or different things, just to give it a clean look to it still, but a very quick and efficient way to get that done. And I actually just did that on Monday for women in the metaverse. I'm like, how to use AI to one, balance your schedule, and it gave us like a whole like how to break down your time throughout the day and balance digital and physical, and then like use it to create a podcast and the content, and then create the picture for the content and then the caption. And that's how I really see AI, again, just as something that can help me as a creator.
You know
Although
what's so funny about it? Like I just finished my like corp company's like quarterly review, and I use Chi Chi to help me write the review and feedback to my coworkers. And then my manager called me. He asked me, "Did you use ChatGPT?" I said, "How did you know?" He's like, so obvious. You don't talk like that.
Yeah, because ChatGPT always give these long ass answers. I always know because it'd be like these whole paragraphs. I'm like, first of all, that was ChatGPT that you're sitting there reading like it's yours.
And he'd be like asking me, "Did you just copy paste? Did you ask ChatGPT to write you something?" I was like, "I put in the bullet points. I'm just asking it to give me a paragraph." And he's like, "You don't talk like that. This is like so weird reading. Like you need to know which one to choose, which one not to choose." And I at that point I didn't feel any regret or like sad. I feel like ChatGPT really need to learn how I talk from all my texts and my um papers, and then talk in my way. Like you have to
I
learn my style first.
I definitely was thinking that when I was like, because I've been using Chat GPT a lot, especially with like, like I said, all these different shows. That's always been my thing. Like, okay, Chat GPT, help me with this idea with like you said, creating bullets, talking points, like a nice, cool little outline. And then having to go to another one to do that. I'm like, I need my AI that knows my picture style and my writing style. And I like how Chat GPT kind of remembers what you guys are talking about in that chat, so I can go back and just be like, hey, and ask a random question like months later, and it knows exactly what I'm talking about from that thread. But it would be cool if it understood like overarching how you talk and how to respond like that.
Yeah, and also every time when I'm putting in my bullet points, I'm not talking like talking to a person. I
Yeah.
be lazy. I be saying like just one word or something like that, because I know they always be like super long and
Yeah.
I just try to give it as little information, but I see like how good it's trying to phrase the
Yeah.
same exact meaning 10 times with
Yeah.
different sentence structure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got to learn how to just take like the basic that you need from it and kind of go from there, because it does get very basic stuff. So I was thinking when last Monday or last Wednesday when we were talking and Anne was saying that the paid version gives like better responses. I'm like, that's probably where that kind of stuff comes into play, where it's just not like you said, the same thing over and over, or like lack of depth. I feel like that's probably where you will find that. And that's how, these AI companies are going to be able to just make a bunch of money from all the users, upgrading for those better answers and better versions, or go with the basic and then do the rest themselves.
I just feel like those AI, I don't know. I feel like helping you to phrase something is helpful. But if everyone starts to use AI to write emails, I don't even know if I want to read the email. I kind of wanted the email. I feel like if someone writing me a damn ass long email, and I might ask Chichi to tell me what does it say. Give me just bullet points. It's better off they just send me bullet points. The prompt
Yeah.
that they put into the Chichi directly to me in the end of the day.
Yeah, I think you definitely will have to also learn when to use it, right? Like you said, an email is totally not appropriate. It's just going to be super long-winded and unnecessary. And like you said, it's going to lack the tone of voice. Like if you're emailing your coworker, you need to know, like, you need to be able to sense what tone of voice they're using, right? Like, I mean, Chat GPT,
Mhm.
maybe if you're a rude coworker, you're like, look, Chat GPT, I need you to phrase this because I'm about to go off on this person. Then cool, maybe put it in there and then see how it reworks it for you to make it sound a little bit better. Which I have done for like different captions where I'm like, because with me, my things are always like long and I feel like complicated. So I'll put it into Chat GPT and it'll kind of rephrase it and make it sound like catchier in a sense for like captions and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a good one. Like make it catchier, make it like better instead of like make it longer, purely longer.
Yeah. And sometimes I have had to ask it, like, can you make it like catchier, more appealing, like cooler, like, wearing them things like that. Like, okay, can you give me another list, but better?
Ooh, that's a good idea. You know what? I feel like Yin should go ask Chi Chi about like, hey, Why do I suddenly got sick after 6 days and back from Thailand?
It's gonna be like, I'm not a licensed physician. You should go to urgent care if your symptoms aren't getting better. Whatever
Maybe,
political.
maybe, but it's better that you should upgrade to ChatGPT 4 to get the real answer from me.
I'm gonna be like, it sounds like something I might know, but you gotta upgrade for me to tell you.
For my senior to tell you, but I'm not sure my senior will know. So if it's an urgent situation, please call 911.
Literally what it's gonna say. That is so funny.
It's just so commercial at some point. It's like
It
subtly
is.
commercialing to you.
It is. It is. And I think everybody has that moment when they realize that, like, oh, okay, this is just another prong in the system, kind of. But I think that's why, again, like we said, being on the producer instead of the consumer side of it. I mean, we are our consumers, even as producers. Even as producers, we've turned into the consumer, because it's kind of been like, hey, if you create, then these tools are kind of created for you too. But we're trying to use it to leverage, right, instead of just use it to make a bunch of variations of our selfies, right? We're actually trying to use this AI to like create digital assets, just like we were talking about, which are going to be valuable in the future, no matter what kind of digital that asset that is, a JPEG, a MP4, FBX. All of them are different variations of digital assets that will hold different values depending on their utility in the community, and that'll just grow over time.
I agree. I kind of feel like, if Milady goes so crazy, should I ask AI to create a Milady house?
Oh, yeah, that's definitely the kind of stuff you want to do, tap into that algorithm, especially because it makes it so easy, right? Like, oh, it's Milady is popping, go after it. That's like the same with Pepe when it was like popping, people that started all of a
Did
sudden
you get
talking
in
about it.
Pepe? Did you get in Pepe?
No, ma'am, I was not on that one. But I'm happy for anybody that did make money. I'm no hater. It's just not, it wasn't my thing.
Oh my god, Pepe got so crazy. You know what? Like, I had a friend and he was just he got in Pepe really early. He threw $600, and when Pepe going like already 10 times, 20 times, I was like, "Did you even take your initial investment out?" He's like, "No, I haven't yet." And I was like, "Yo, how much have you made?" He's like, "Oh, I'm like $6,000." I was like, "Sell it! Like, take your original investment out." He's like, "No." I was like, "Okay, when are you gonna sell it?" He's like, I'm gonna wait until I make like 20 to 50K from 600. And I was laughing so hard. I was sending the screenshot to my friend, be like, "Yo, this kid is crazy delusional." And guess what? After 1 week, he's 50K. And then he sells it.
Dang.
He sold it. But if he didn't sell it, he would have made it like 500K. And I'm like totally losing my whole mind.
Man, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm like. I'm happy for anybody that did. It's always that sucky point that we're like, man, I sold it and yeah, I made 50, but I could have made 500. And it's always like you never know when to hit the button. Like,
Exactly.
but
But
that's
it's like,
it.
it's just so funny, you know?
But that's again how we were saying, but so imagine if you would have popped it with a Pepe house, and it's like now him that just was like, became a 50,000-aire from
Like
Pepe may
when
want to go and have like a Pepe house in the metaverse. Like, yeah, I came up because of this and I want something to show that and rep that. Or my lady got a whole community of holders. So, it's being able to pull in those assets that these communities are looking for. I've definitely seen a lot of people like see communities and try to start like being able to build assets that their communities will want to try to like, you know, piggyback off of that in a sense. And I think that's what the Web3 community is open for, They do a lot of derivative projects where, they're open source so you can use the art and create your own, and a lot of people have made a lot of good money from that. So, I think where you see even better ones where it's like, yeah, we're using that project and now we're about to go create a house for it. Like not another JPEG version of it, but like an asset that you as a community member could use. Again, that starts to even offer those communities utility, and makes that person become even more valuable.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. That would be so much fun.
Right. Well, sounds like you on to something over there. I hear you brainstorming. So I can't wait to see what kind of AI mansions you pop out with from all these trending NFTs and cryptocurrencies. But our space is about to be wrapping up. It went so quick today. Such a good conversation.
I know, it just goes smoothly.
I know it. Well, hey, this is a good one. Thanks everybody for listening. Tiny and Ning. Anybody that was on the YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, or Facebook, or watching the replay, we appreciate you as well. And we do this every Wednesday. Now, next Wednesday, we are going to try it at 1 p.m. Pacific time. So we'll see how that goes. We're gonna keep trying it. I think we're gonna give that a try because 1 a.m. That's so outrageous. Everybody would look at us and be like, "What are you doing?"
Are you onto something like a tripping or something?
But if one is a good time for AM, I will hope that it will be a good time for PM
Yeah,
for
let
that
me
time.
invite someone who can jump on at the 1 p.m. Pacific time. Could
Okay,
definitely make it work.
cool. And if not, we can always try other things, other days, and figure it out. Because I
I
think
feel
we
like
also
our
okay.
previous days are pretty good.
What previous days?
The 6 p.m. one. Like I feel like the most people jump on the 6 p.m. one.
Mm, yeah. Well, would you be able to do a different day then, like Tuesday instead of Wednesday?
Tuesday I normally have class meetings. I could do Thursday.
Thursday at 6. Okay, we usually have game night at 5, so we're like usually
Mm.
wrapping up by 6.
Let's
Okay.
do the let's do it let's keep it first and then let's see. Like you have the 2 months mark, right?
The what?
You have something for like 2 months.
Oh yeah. Right, 2 months. Yeah, until August at 6 o'clock.
Until August?
Yeah, I think that's when the film festival is. Let me see,
That's
May,
not
June,
two
July.
months. That's like
I think it's 2 more months. Like all of.
uh
Oh no, I guess that would be 3 more months. I don't know. I gotta double check. Maybe it's not that long. I think it's 8. It is 8 more weeks. It definitely is just 8 more weeks. So. Yeah, so we definitely won't be able to do Wednesday at 6 for a little bit. But we could try Wednesday at 1 and then maybe see how that goes midday cuz I think that would be kind of cool. And then if that, does well, then we'll see and then if not, we can try Thursday at 6. And I definitely love having you there. So even if it's like I think we had said Fridays was better for you midday, we could also do Fridays at 1 or earlier.
Friday, yeah, Friday at 1 p.m. is the worst time on Friday because I had a
Okay.
meeting from 1 to 2. But
Oh,
other
well, we
times,
don't have to do one. We could do any time. I was just
yeah, yeah,
thinking
yeah.
one because you said 1 a.m. So I'm like, maybe do 1 p.m.
Oh, don't mind him. I think Yin is kind of like losing his mind when
Oh,
he's a little bit.
let me
Okay,
see.
well, let's do it like 1 p.m. next week. Let's probably
Okay.
like let everybody know earlier so they will expect a surprise change.
Yeah, let's get it. Let's give it a try and then we'll go from there.
Yeah,
Okay.
and also I feel like I don't know if you feel this way. I feel like the market is kind of like start to get engaged more.
I think so
Right.
too. Yeah.
So
And I
we better be prepared for the next bull run.
I definitely agree. Definitely. Okay, cool. So we'll be giving a try Wednesday at 1. Although you won't be there, and I think our combo flows s- nice and like funny and entertaining when you are here. But we'll give it.
Well, I will be there next Wednesday.
Okay, awesome. We'll see you guys later.
All right, see you.
Peace.
Have a good night. Bye.